what we're going to talk about is what I call a movement performance assessment. It's just it's a fancy name for my first assessment that I do with a first-time client. And it's designed for personal trainers. There's a lot of other assessment stuff out there. I feel like they have value, but there was always some things that I thought that didn't really relate really well to me as a personal trainer in regards to telling me what I wanted to know. So that brings me to, why do we do this? What are we going to look at? First off, I'm not going to have you learn anything that you haven't seen before. That's one of my first big issues with education, is it always seems to be, you have all these dots and you're not sure how to connect them, so then you go to a new course looking for clarity and simplicity, and all it does is add more dots. A new set of nomenclature, a new set of movements that you're not sure how to tie in. Now you're like, now I even have more stuff to figure out, where does it go? What this is more along the lines of is a decision-making process and a contextualizing, a way to think about things, to take what you already know and decide, which one should I do with my client now? So we're more like solving problems. What are the problems that we deal with? Well, what separates a good personal training or semi-private or group, which we'll cover in a second, from just something that we might see on social media and just kind of go, ooh, right? Think about those things. What it really comes down to is, we see a lot of things online of clients basically doing exercises they shouldn't be doing. You know, and we think this is going to put them at risk. Either their movement capacity is not for what they should be doing, or their fitness level is not for what they should be doing. And we think that puts them at risk. So our goal is to find the safest approach that's more individualized. So that's really what the assessment is about. However, it should be like a first session. It should be, I would say, an assessment should be a test drive of your service. It shouldn't feel like a driver's test. And I think that's where I diverge from a lot of the things. It becomes this, it almost feels like a flash quiz doctor's visit, where we start looking for dysfunctions and all the things that are wrong with them. And I'm actually not saying you don't want to see those things. What I'm saying is, I question whether that's what we should prioritize first. As a trainer, what I've always prioritized first is working from two premises. First off, exercise is for everyone. So if I go looking for all your dysfunctions, I'm trying to basically find all the reasons you shouldn't be exercising. Right? Your posture's bad, you have minimal ankle dorsiflexion, you got weak this, weak that, so you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, shouldn't do this. Well, are you just going to tell everybody they might as well stay in bed because you don't want to add fitness to dysfunction? Or but meanwhile they play tennis and golf and jog and do yoga, right? So we want to find the exercises that they can do at the highest level of the hierarchy of exercise that they can do safely. Not basically look at something that's very extreme, like an overhead squat, and say, well, they can't do that. That means they have dysfunctions, and then knock them all the way down to the bottom of the barrel and say, well, everything you do now has to be lying on the floor and stretch this and strengthen that. Right? I think there's a lot of ground in the middle there, and if you're assessing, you are still guessing what part of that middle, where in that ground they can start to actually get stronger and fitter, because that's where they came from. That's why they came to us for. So that brings me to my premise too. Not only is exercise for everybody, but strength training is for everyone. But not every strength training exercise is for everybody. Double meaning. So I want to find what best fits your body.